3 Premier League matches, 3 different cities. And by the end of this Sunday, at least one giant is going to walk off that pitch with a result nobody saw coming. One of these teams is about to suffer a defensive collapse that will have their fans furious before the sun even sets. Another club is sitting on a hidden weakness that their own manager is desperately trying to hide from the cameras. And one match today could quietly decide who has the momentum heading into the rest of this season, long before anyone is even talking about the title race. If you're a football fan in the United States trying to figure out exactly who wins, who loses, and why, on August the 23rd, stay with me for the next few minutes because I am about to break down all 3 Premier League matches happening today, one by one, with real predictions, real comparisons, and a few facts that might genuinely surprise you. Before we dive into the action, if this is your first time here, welcome to Goal Verdict, the channel where we do not just guess who wins a football match, we actually break it down like analysts, comparing attackers, defenders, goalkeepers, and current form so you walk away actually understanding the game, not just hearing an opinion. If that sounds like your kind of football content, do me a quick favor right now, tap that like button. It genuinely helps this channel grow, and hit subscribe so you never miss a match day breakdown again. All right, now let's get into today's slate because this is a fascinating one. We start early in the day with Brighton and Hove Albion hosting Aston Villa at the Amex Stadium, kicking off at 9 in the morning Eastern Time for our viewers here in the United States. On paper, this looks like a fairly even contest, and that is exactly what makes it dangerous to predict carelessly. Brighton have built a reputation over the last few seasons as one of the smartest, most technically sound clubs in the entire league. Their passing structure, their pressing triggers, their ability to manufacture chances out of seemingly nothing, all of that has made them a nightmare for bigger clubs who underestimate them. Aston Villa, on the other hand, walk into this match as a side that has genuine European pedigree behind them now, a squad that has tasted continental football and carries a different kind of confidence because of it. Now here is where the analysis actually starts to matter. Right, when you look at Brighton's attacking unit, their biggest strength is unpredictability, multiple players capable of scoring rather than relying on one central figure. That sounds like a good thing, and most of the time it is, but it can also mean a lack of a clinical focal point in matches where chances are limited. Aston Villa's front line is built differently, more direct, more explosive in transition, with players who thrive on quick counters rather than patient build-up. If Brighton dominate possession, which they likely will given their home advantage and their identity, Aston Villa's real threat comes on the break. And that is a pattern we have seen punish possession-heavy teams before. Defensively, this is where things get interesting, and honestly, a little concerning if you support Brighton. Their backline has shown moments of vulnerability against pace, and Aston Villa have exactly the kind of attacking players who exploit that gap between the fullback pushing forward and the centre-back covering. Villa's defense, meanwhile, has generally been more organized, more experienced at controlling tempo in tricky away matches. When it comes to goalkeepers, both sides have reliable shot stoppers. But the guy between the posts for Villa has a track record of coming up big in exactly these kinds of tightly contested opening weekend matches, the ones where nerves are still being settled and one mistake can define the entire afternoon. So here's our call for this one. We are backing this match to end in a narrow result, somewhere around a 1-1 draw or a slim Brighton win by a single goal margin, because Brighton's home advantage and attacking creativity should just about outweigh Villa's counter-attacking threat. But do not be shocked if Aston Villa steal it late with a set piece or a moment of individual brilliance, because that is exactly the kind of team they have become. Keep that in mind, because what happens in this match could actually set the emotional tone for the rest of the day across the league. Now, let's talk about the match everyone actually clicked on this video for. Manchester City hosting Bournemouth at the Etihad Stadium, also kicking off at 9 in the morning Eastern Time. And look, on the surface, this seems like an obvious result. Manchester City at home against Bournemouth should be routine, right? Except football rarely works that cleanly, and there is a reason we are not just handing this one to City without breaking it down properly. Manchester City's attacking quality remains some of the best in world football, full stop. Their movement between the lines, their ability to pull defenses apart with patient rotations, and the sheer individual quality littered across their front line makes them a nightmare matchup for almost anyone in this league. But here's the twist that a lot of casual fans miss. Bournemouth have quietly become one of the most disciplined, high-intensity pressing sides in the Premier League. They do not sit back and admire City's possession. They hunt it, they press aggressively in structured waves, and they have caused genuine problems for big clubs who assume the game is already won before kickoff. When you compare the two goalkeepers here, City's man commands his box with total authority and has the passing range to start attacks from deep, which fits perfectly into City's style. Bournemouth's goalkeeper, meanwhile, has to be ready for a very different kind of afternoon, facing a wall of shots and needing to produce moments of individual brilliance just to keep his team competitive. In defense, City's backline is generally solid, but has occasionally been caught out by teams who commit numbers forward in transition. Exactly the kind of high-risk approach Bournemouth sometimes takes when they smell an opportunity. Here's the analytical truth, though. Class tends to show over 90 minutes, especially at home, and City's squad depth combined with their attacking talent should be enough to break down even a well-organized press eventually. Our prediction for this one is a comfortable Manchester City win, likely by 2 or 3 goals, but do not be surprised if Bournemouth actually score first or hold their own for large stretches of the first half, because their pressing structure is genuinely good enough to create nervy moments, even if it ultimately is not enough to change the final result. And now, the match a lot of people have been waiting for, Newcastle United hosting Liverpool at St. James Park, kicking off at 11:30 in the morning Eastern Time. This one is loaded with storylines because Newcastle at home is a completely different animal than Newcastle on the road. Their crowd, their atmosphere, their intensity in the opening exchanges of a match, all of that creates one of the toughest away trips in the entire Premier League, and Liverpool know that better than almost anyone. Let's compare these two properly, because this is where the real prediction lives. Liverpool's attacking trio, when fully firing, is capable of dismantling almost any defense in world football. Their combination of pace, movement, and clinical finishing is genuinely elite level. Newcastle's attack, meanwhile, is built on a different kind of philosophy, physical, direct, and relentless, wearing defenses down through sheer intensity rather than intricate passing patterns. If you are asking which team has the higher ceiling in terms of individual attacking talent, it is Liverpool, no real debate there. But if you are asking which team is more likely to make the match uncomfortable and chaotic, that is Newcastle, every single time. Now, the defensive comparison is fascinating because Liverpool's backline has been reshaped and reorganized, and early season matches like this one are always a genuine test of new partnerships gelling under pressure. Newcastle's defense, by contrast, is one of the most physically imposing and well-drilled units in the league, built specifically to frustrate technically gifted attacking sides exactly like Liverpool. When it comes to goalkeepers, both sides have world-class options, shot stoppers capable of single-handedly keeping their team in a match, which means individual goalkeeping errors could genuinely decide this one. Here's our prediction, and this is the one we want you to pay close attention to. We believe this match ends closer than most people expect. Liverpool's quality should ultimately be the difference, but Newcastle's home atmosphere and physical approach means this will not be comfortable for the visitors at any point. We are calling a narrow Liverpool win, something like 2-1, but we genuinely would not be shocked by a hard-fought draw either, because St. James Park has humbled bigger sides than this one before, and Newcastle's crowd has a habit of lifting their team in ways that stats alone can never fully capture. So let's bring this all together for you. Across these 3 massive fixtures, we are predicting a narrow result in favor of the home side over at the Amex, a comfortable and clinical Manchester City victory at the Etihad, and a tight, nervy away win for Liverpool up at St. James Park. But here's the thing about football, and honestly, the reason we all keep watching. None of this is guaranteed. Opening weeks of a Premier League season are notoriously unpredictable. Players are still finding fitness, tactical systems are still being fine-tuned, and one moment of brilliance or one costly mistake can flip an entire prediction upside down in a matter of seconds. That is exactly why we are going to be back here on Goal Verdict once these matches finish, breaking down exactly what happened, which prediction hit, which one missed, and more importantly, why. We will look at the actual goals scored, the exact margins these matches were won or lost by, and we will pinpoint the real tactical mistakes that decided each result, not just surface-level takes, but the actual moments that mattered. So if you want that follow-up, break down the moment these matches wrap up, make sure you are subscribed, because we're not just predicting football here. We are trying to help you actually understand it on a deeper level than most channels bother to. Before you go, let us know down in the comments which of these 3 predictions you agree with, and which one you think we have completely wrong. Because, honestly, that is where the best football debates always happen. If you found this breakdown genuinely useful, share it with a friend who has been arguing with you about today's results, drop a like if you want more of this kind of in-depth prediction content, and subscribe to Goal Verdict so you catch every single match day from here on out. We will see you in the next one, and remember, on this channel, we do not just guess, we actually break it down.